everybody. This is Scott and Rachel coming at you live on our date night. We wanted to hop in here super quick because we had an insight about Noah's Ark and saving your marriage. So if you're out there and you've been praying and you're wanting to get a turnaround in your marriage, you're not sure what to do, Lord, help me. This is for you. So
absolutely. So I wanted to share, we've been talking about this. It's been really fun. So I was reading the story of Noah in the book of Genesis again. And it was, and welcome to those who are joining us live. I was reading the story and it was like, it really just struck me. Maybe it was the Lord communicating this to me. It's like the Lord gave such clear instructions to Noah, what the ark needed to look like. And then it was like, now go build it. And you're going to build it over the course of decades. Then you're going to build it. And I wondered, like, did the Lord tell him, when you got a splinter that it was just going to disappear? Or did he tell him how to get rid of that? Or did he tell him what tools to use? There was so much about that whole story that Noah needed to use his God-given abilities, talents, insights that he needed, that he could use. But not only that, he was also, you probably had to ask people for help at times, at least if nothing else, removing those splinters. But then let's take it a step further. Like after the flood, Noah sends out the doves. Like you would think that the Lord would just say, okay, now's the time. But he gave it over to Noah, his responsibility to not only take care of the animals in the ark, but then to send out the dove to determine when the time was right to go outside of the ark. Interesting to think about that God allowed and even called for Noah to interact and to use his intellect, his mind to engage in figuring out what needed to happen next.
It's so true. And that Noah stepped into the obedience. God gave him the blueprint. He said, this is what it should look like. This is what I want you to do. Noah didn't know what rain was. He had never experienced a storm. He didn't know that the storm was, coming. Maybe he knew, but he trusted the Lord. He obeyed. He got to work. And guys, we're here to tell you, if you have been busy praying and seeking the Lord and saying, God, what do I do? What do I do? But you haven't yet picked up a hammer yet. You haven't yet got to work. You haven't yet been obedient in the calling of what he's called you to do in your marriage. It is time to get to work. We talk to so many people on the phone. They're honorable people. They love the Lord. And they're like, well, I'm just praying. I'm just hoping and praying. I'm just seeking the Lord. But God has already told you so much of what to do. Now, if you're stuck and you don't know,
look like too.
Yes, we know exactly what it should look like when we read passages like Ephesians 5 and we read 1 Corinthians 7 and we read the Proverbs. We read so much of Song of Solomon. We see what God designed marriage to be: a blessing, a covenant, right? A one another opportunity for the gospel to flourish. And here's the thing, Noah got to work. We're out here to tell you guys, if you're struggling in your marriage and you're just hoping and praying, but you have not got yet to work on yourself, on your mindset, on your beliefs about what this means when she talks to me like that, what it means when he treats me that way. How do I respond differently? Guys, we're here to say, get to work with us. Okay.
Exactly. And if you're there, just like Noah, if something wasn't coming together right, he's not going to go and say, oh, I think I need to change the plan. It's like, no, if the marriage isn't feeling like it's working the way that it should, it doesn't mean that we need to change the plan or that God got it wrong somehow, or that his design for marriage was off. Like, no, you need to adapt to align with God's best. And that's a lot of what we do, for sure. And if you're in that place, and we see it all the time, man, if we had a penny for every time everyone said, oh, you're just going to pray for it. Like, yes, we want to pray for it. Yes, God is faithful. Yes, God has a plan. And he's calling upon us two different key things about this. One, it is time for action. And when you recognize things are not right, you don't say, this is okay to have a splinter in my hand. And you don't say, the design for the way God made it, it's wrong or God's wrong. No, we recognize that we have to shift, first of all. And secondly, right hand in hand with that, the way God has designed our Christian walk, certainly was true back with Noah, but it is true in our Christian walk that we're not designed to do this on our own. We're never designed to do it on our own. So the answer can never simply be, oh, you just got to pray about it, wait for God to move. Like, do you really think the toxicity in your marriage is going to be changed like that without taking action?
Right.
Really?
if you've been grown up, if you've grown up in a dysfunctional home, or you haven't had a healthy biblical marriage modeled to you, you haven't had one, you don't know even what it looks like. What in the world are you doing if you're just going to hope and pray and not get to work with a mentor who can literally give you the blueprint and show you this is God's design, this is how you can do it, this is how to shift your mindset, your heart, your behavior, this is how you can respond differently. Guys, we're here to say, you cannot just hope and pray this away. Right. Toxicity and dysfunction and sin needs to be rooted out. We have got to look in the mirror. We've got to get the spinach out of our teeth. And sometimes we can't see it. We have the wrong glasses on, and we need someone else to say, let me help you. So guys, if that's you, we have something for you. We offer a complimentary breakthrough call where we're going to help you get laser clarity on the problem, help you understand the impact that's having on you, and help you create a strategy to get the dream and the biblical healthy marriage that you actually want. Yes. And here's the truth. This does not happen without a lot of hard work. This does not happen without humility to say, I'm not sure how to do this. Can you help me? This does not happen without being coachable and committed. Because if you're like, well, I'm just going to see what happens and let's see how it goes.
Just waiting on God.
Your marriage is doomed.
I'm waiting on God.
Your marriage is doomed. If that's you. And we're not saying God's not sovereign. He is. God is sovereignly on his throne. He is good and he has good purposes for you, but he also calls us to personal responsibility. He calls us to obedience, the way he called Noah to, right? Yeah. And the fact that those two things are true and we don't understand how they fit together does not make them both not true.
Yeah.
So guys, if that's you, go ahead, book the call, turnaroundmarriage.com/call. Let's get to work. Let's pick up the hammer. We probably have tools that you don't even have in your tool belt to be able to do this. If Noah tried to do it with, a wrench and he didn't have a hammer, he didn't have the tools he needed, he couldn't have walked in obedience. And if you need the tools, we're here to help.
Absolutely. And it's most likely that if there are those deep-seated splinters, if you will, that you need you can't get it out yourself.
Yeah.
You probably need outside help.
Yeah.
And so you're right. This is not for the people that are sitting on the wayside and just waiting for things to happen, waiting for their spouse to change, waiting for God to just miraculously, instantly change everybody's minds and hearts. He's more than capable of doing that. We've come to expect the miracles all the time.
Yeah.
But if we're sitting on the sidelines waiting, this call isn't for you. This is for people that are ready to take action, for those that are that know that there is a plan. They want to go. They want to go after building that ark. They want to go after the greatest design that God has made on earth, apart from our walk with him, is the family before he even designed the church. Yeah. And so what happens, Rachel, though, when they start getting the right help? What happens when a couple or even an individual begins to get the healing and gets the splinters out and starts going after the goal, which is the plan of how God designed it? What happens then?
Scott, it's the most beautiful thing, and you and I get to witness it every single day. We get to see actually couples building a marriage that's God-centered, building something that shelters you from the storm, building something that honors God. That's what he's called us to do. God has called us to partner with him in this work.
Yeah.
Partner with him, believing that he is sovereign, but also knowing we are called to responsibility and accountability and obedience. So if that's you, if you're looking for the strategy, if you're looking for the tools, if you're ready to walk in obedience and figure out where things went wrong and how to fix it, turnaroundmarriage.com/call. We'll see you there. We'll talk soon.
We will talk soon. God bless you.
Bye-bye.